Okay, so this is, just to let everyone know, this will be recorded, so anyone who missed this meeting can watch it at a future date. I wanted to welcome you all to our opening program for Common Art, Hope in the Unseen. This exhibit officially opened late September and runs through the end of November. My name is Susan Loomis-Wing, a Board of Directors member of Unbound Visual Arts, or UVA. And I'm also a co-curator for this exhibit along with Allie Madison, artist in residence for Common Cathedral. First of all, I'd like to thank John Catrali on the UVA side, along with our wonderful volunteers for assisting in all aspects of coordinating this exhibit. These past few years have been extremely challenging, and it is especially difficult for those who are unhoused or experiencing housing insecurity. Although in regards to the global pandemic, there seems to be a small glimmer and expectation of hope. This exhibit really shows that creativity, hope, and community can still be shown in such a difficult time. I want to greatly thank Allie Madison and the Common Art artists for their willingness and enthusiasm in being a part of this virtual exhibit. For many, it will be their second virtual exhibit with UVA. On that note, I would like to introduce Allie, and we are going to hear from some of the artists talk about their work. If you wouldn't mind unmuting, and we can start with Maria.
Great, thank you. For some reason, we don't have permission to unmute. I think you have to, as the admin, unmute for us. Thank you. Okay, so yes, thank you all for being here today. We are Common Cathedral, and the program that we are celebrating with this art show is Common Art. So Common Art meets every Wednesday at 15 Newbury Street, Emmanuel Church, to put together and facilitate a community art program where folks who are experiencing homelessness or other forms of systemic oppression or marginalization can come together to be creative and connect to one another. And this particular gallery is dedicated to folks in our community who have passed away in the past few years. It's also meant to celebrate the community that we've built during the time of the pandemic and to honor that we've stayed together throughout the entire time. The first artist that I'd like to highlight today is Maria. And so Maria, we're just gonna flip through some of your pieces. And is it that they are? Mm-hmm. It's starting out with the global peril. So can you just speak a little bit to the three pieces that you shared with us today? I know that they are about climate change. Can you talk about your passion with climate change?
Yeah, the three pieces I have in this exhibit, and by the way, I'm really proud to be in this exhibit, and I'm really proud of the work of all of the artists. It's a beautiful looking exhibit. The three pieces I have are a little different from the rest of my work in that I am using ready-made images. I'm using images from some magazines and National Geographics. About a year and a half ago, we worked for a couple of weeks doing collages. And one of the amazing things that happens with collages, for me anyways, is I don't know what's gonna happen, but I start putting things together. I start playing with images and shapes, and then I start playing with words. And it turns out that the words have created a kind of message about taking care of this world and the peril that our world is in. So there's a seal, there's an indigenous person who is an endangered species, as we are all getting to be. And so the images sort of came intuitively and just happened. So it came together into this series of three collages. I like using words a lot. I'm also a writer and a poet. So this was a kind of found poetry, taking headlines from some of the articles or advertisements and moving the words around to get a kind of visual poetry combining with the images.
So I have a question.
Sure.
What is it that you get out of coming regularly to Common Art?
Quite a lot of things. I really like all the people. Working alone in my studio is just not a good thing to do all the time. So I like being with other people and being with other artists. And I tend to come in with a clean slate. I don't know what I'm doing exactly, but somehow something happens. And that's like what happened with the collages, just combining these images. And then, working with other people, sometimes the artistic ideas bounce off of other people. Like last week, I was sitting next to an artist who started doing spirals. And I started thinking, oh, that's interesting. And then I just started doing spirals. So we sort of feed off each other sometimes when we're drawing together. And that kind of companionship is really important. So
Yes.
that's big for me.
Thank you,
It
Maria.
really is.
And actually, you're going back upstairs to play piano for us and
That's right.
bring music to our space as well.
Yeah.
So thank you, Maria, for sharing.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Ow.
So next, we are going to go to Diana.
Here goes.
I think that's good. Thank you.
Deanna, you can probably start while we pull up these pieces. Sometimes it takes, oh, that was quick. Feel free to speak while we pull up the images.
Would you like to say what inspired these 3 jewelry pieces?
Gee, I have to look and see. I'm not sure. I can talk about when I started coming to Common Art was when I first started making jewelry a couple of decades ago when I fell into poverty because of some health issues and a job that wouldn't accommodate me. And I came here. I was going to a shelter to get food, and then someone told me about Common Art, and I was like, really? And I had just started making jewelry and found out that I could try to, eke out a living that way. So I came here and I got a lot of help and support and supplies and other artists, and finding out that being an artist was a legitimate way to spend my time, to be involved, to even think about, making a living was so inspiring to me. So that piece you're looking at now, I really like doing asymmetrical things. And just because I'm sort of asymmetrical myself, as I think we all really are. And what happened was I was making jewelry for myself many years ago while I was still working, and I didn't think anything of it. I was doing it because it was affordable, and people started asking me to make them things, and I thought, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I can do that. And so people challenged me, and I started making things for them, and they loved them. And I discovered I had an eye for color and design that I had no idea about. So this is one of those pieces that I feel like, while it's asymmetrical, it still has a balance to it. And the color combinations, the blacks make it sort of dressy and elegant looking, while the pinks and the hematite colors in it sort of offset it and give it a little bit of a funky feel. That's that piece anyway. And what else did I have there? What other piece? Can you show me another one? Oh, this one, you can't really tell by looking at it, but they're all jasper pieces. And they look like they're laying flat, but they're not laying flat. They're laying on their side. So they have a three-dimensional, the beads that are hanging down are actually three-dimensional. So it's very interesting when you have it on, in addition to the color scheme and the the gradation of the sizes, the way I have them designed. It's also very unusual for a necklace. Most necklaces just sit flat on one's neck. This one sits flat, but the pieces are really standing up against the neck. They're three-dimensional. So as you can see, I like doing different things. Everything I do is one of a kind. I'm too ADD to do the same thing twice.
Just a quick question, Deanna.
Yes.
Do you experience any therapeutic or healing benefits by making these pieces?
Oh, well, I started making jewelry really out of the need to de-stress, because I was working in a job where I was not being accommodated for my disabilities, and I experienced a lot of discrimination and stress for many years. That's when I started sitting up all night beading. So it was very, very therapeutic. And then it became a way to make a living, and also at the same time, a way to calm me down. It's very meditative for me to be putting pieces together, choosing, making the design, choosing the beads, laying things out and just looking at them. And it takes me away from everything else and just brings me into the moment.
Thank you, Deanna.
Thank you. I'm honored to be asked to be part of the show.
We're honored that you're a part of this. Next, we'll go to Brittany. So Brittany, you have a set of landscape paintings. Can you speak a little bit to what called you to do these kind of seascapes?
I don't really have a set mind of what I do. I just paint. So painting for me is kind of like therapeutic. So I don't really have an idea until it starts coming out. So it's just kind of all improvised. So
Is there anything in particular that you like especially about these ones?
if you notice, most of my paintings start off kind of dark and then they go very colorful. So it's basically like my two personalities, dark and light. So I like to try to, make the best of, dark, but with colors. So.
And you have just started painting at Common Art recently.
Yes.
What do you get out of Common Art and being in community and sharing space with other artists?
For me, it's a de-stressor. It's therapeutic for me. It's basically my way of being able to express myself without words.
I think these say a lot about, what you're thinking and what you're feeling, even though they're improvised and a bit more abstract. You're communicating a lot.
Well, I feel like I do more on the canvas without having to say how I'm feeling.
Thank you for sharing, Brittany.
You are welcome.
Yeah, these are all very lovely. Next, we will go to Junior. You ready?
Yeah.
Junior, you got some paintings up here too. How long have you been coming to Common Art for?
Since 2000. Okay, since 2016.
Nice. So that's about 6 years.
6 years, 6.5 years. I've been coming here. I got invited to my friend, but he don't come here no more. I'm like, really, dude. I was like, I watched my coming out one time. It was on a Wednesday. And they asked me when to come. My friend asked me when to come out, and I told him, hell no, I'm not coming. He said, why? Because people might be real ignorant sometimes. And when I get mad, I'll snap, but I try not to be.
Mhm.
I try not to get crazy.
Doing these paintings helps you focus.
It helps me focus on anything I need. It's hard though. Who does art? It's hard to do art though.
Hmm. But you keep doing it.
It's hard though. I like helping other people though.
Yeah.
Who succeed.
I think you've learned a lot in the 6 years that you've been coming to Common Art and continuing to paint and practice.
Yep, I've been coming here for 6.5 years.
What's your favorite thing about coming to Common Art?
Just seeing everybody. Just seeing people happy, cooking.
Hmm.
It's like he could cook, man. This one here can cook. That's crazy. I like coming here. Just meeting people and all that. I like saying how I like being people sadness and all that. They get mad all the time. Like I like doing art for other people. Like it's hard for me though. It's not that easy to tell though. It's easy to do art as well. I try to do art and then it's hard though. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a big deal to
Yeah.
approach blank canvases every week.
I've been here for 6.5 years. That's crazy. It went fast. In 6 years, it went quick. That's crazy. It's hard though. It's not easy. It's not the same. It's hard though.
You want to talk about how hard the pandemic was?
Pandemic. I don't believe that pandemic. I don't believe no pandemic. You know why I don't believe the pandemic? Why is the liquor store the virus in the liquor store? Yeah, I'm gonna ask the question. Why is the liquor store the virus? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Why is the liquor store the virus? If there's coronavirus, why the liquor store was open? When there's coronavirus, why the liquor store was open?
That's
Why
true.
they call the virus the liquor store? You saw the virus in the liquor store. You saw the virus in the liquor store telling people why the liquor store was open. I don't think it's coronavirus. I think that's some food. You try to scare us, coronavirus, but you saw it in the liquor store, the virus in the liquor store. You could buy the virus.
But I remember that during the past couple of years, you kept coming to Common Art even when everything's closed. And
Yeah,
you're still there.
all the time though. One time I only came for a whole month one time. It was too cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was too cold.
Well, thank you for sharing, Junior.
Anytime. It's hard though.
John, can you go back
been-
one, because I think there's another of Junior's piece.
Oh, yes.
These kind of remind me of Rothko. Mark
Oh,
Rothko
yeah.
with the patches of color.
For sure.
I can see the emotion in these.
Mhm.
I miss you guys too though.
Yeah, pretty soon we'll be able to do in-person ones. All right, last but not least, we have Tenzin. All right, so Tenzin, we got those bird paintings and the mountain painting of yours. You like to do like natural outdoor themes. a
Yeah.
lot.
I think like the first time I participated in Unbound Visual Arts was 2016. I remember John like in Potential Building. So I was from the San Francisco Art Studio with Lisa. And then also I was like, I got this opportunity to do the live exhibition for 20 minutes to do a painting. So it came up in some paper. So that was my first time like connected with UVA.
Mhm.
Yeah, and second time was last year. Is it last year? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
last
last year. So last year, like the pieces that I had was kind of a little bit more serious, which I really wanted to do it. But this year, all the pieces I have wasn't like very serious about, like,
Mhm.
because I just did it because I need to participate. So, but the themes that I really want to focus, it's about nature,
Mhm.
like mountains, landscape, people, and also about light, like different patterns of light, spectrums of light, like different colors. So these are the things that I really want to do. But since the pandemic, like I guess I haven't done any serious painting. So all my painting last year was just before the pandemic, and since the pandemic, like I don't know, like something wasn't quite right. So I'm not getting that kind of energy to get really interested in painting. So slowly, maybe just pick it up.
Well, the title of this gallery is actually Hope in the Unseen.
Mhm.
Is there anything about hope that you'd like to share with people? A lot of your pieces also have a theme of, peacefulness and calm.
Oh yeah, because I think it's related with my upbringing because like I was born in Tibet, highest country in the world, and then pretty much I spent most of my time in the mountainous areas, in northern India, and that's where I want to be. But right now I'm in a city because I have certain compulsion because my papers are not yet done. So once everything is done, so maybe I'll move towards the mountainside. So there is really a peace, like lots of like real animals, birds, whatever. Like.
Mhm.
So that's my inspiration, like my because like hope is something that I really believed in.
Mhm.
I always have a hope in hope because without hope, like we have nothing. Hope is the driving force of our life.
Mhm.
So we go to bed hoping that we can wake up next morning. So if we don't have the hope that we can wake up next morning, so it will be so stressful to go to bed. So that's why like hope is the driving force for me that keeps me going.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tan.
It was yours.
Oh, she's the artist.
Nope, she got you gotta do. She gotta do it. She's not right.
Yes, fortunately for us, we were able to celebrate an abundance of artists in this gallery. And, this is just, 5 out of, I think, 18 artists who are part of the show. And I'm hoping that by going through this gallery that you can get a sense for, the variety of personalities and life experiences that are part of our community, and that this really represents all of us as a whole. And thank you all for participating today and listening to some of our stories. If you'd like to learn more about Common Art, you can go to commoncathedral.org. There's more information about our organization, how we were the first outdoor church service, and some of our other programs that we have also. I just want to open it up really quick for any questions anyone might have.
I wanted to make a comment on one of Brittany's pieces and how you could see like there's certain subtleties of images. So it's like at first you may not see it, but then you have to really look at it and you can definitely see some imagery coming out. And I think it's kind of amazing with abstract art is just you may not see something at first, but you have to, but after you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, I see. There's definitely clear images. Like I didn't realize, the little cats on the right
Mm-hmm.
in the tornado, and yeah, so that's really neat. And I think it's kind of a cool thing about abstract art.
Thank you. All right, well, if no one else has any other questions or comments, I can bring it back to Susan and we can close us out.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to thank everyone again for participating in this virtual exhibit. The artwork is really strong and compelling. It's going to be up until November 30th, so there'll be plenty of time for people to view the exhibit. And of course, the artwork is for sale. It can be purchased right on the website, and the buyer can work with Ally on coordinating that. But I just wanted to thank everyone again. And if anyone has anything else to say, a question for the artists, or they can do that.